Players, and welcome to a week in Burbank. So in this series, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about everything that's been going on, or just three things that have really had a lot of good discussion on Burbank. So I'm just gonna go with three stories and excuse me, three posts, and then we're just going to talk about them. I'm gonna give you guys my opinion on them. So the first one we're looking at here is this one. It was posted by Andrew Wamble, and in this article, he's talking about the future of expanded, and then he brings up the discussion of whether or not we should have a potential ban list within the expanded format. And I think this one was a really interesting topic. A lot of people went ahead and shared their opinions about how they felt per se about having a ban list. As you know, we already have two cards banned, which are Lysander's Trump card, which is just a really, really, really toxic card. If you think about it, it calls for such degenerate play. And then we also had Shift Tree banned because of how easy it was to, basically bench your opponent on the first turn just by spamming multiple Shift Trees with the use of Giant Forces of Plants. All right, so getting into the comments here, let's look at some and see what people were saying. So some people were saying that they felt as though Getsis and Archeops should be banned or taken out of the format. We have a video there talking about Shift Tree. Some people were saying that maybe there should be like a rotated format, or excuse me, ban cards should be rotated in and out of the format. Some people were talking about possibly giving cards an errata, and in my opinion, the current I don't feel like a card should be banned unless it is really detrimental to the game state or detrimental to play, like such as Lysander's Trump card. Battle Compressor, for example, a lot of people were naming that, and they were saying that, oh, I feel as though Battle Compressor should be a ban. Is Battle Compressor a card that is a bit problematic? Yes, it is. Do I think that Battle Compressor should be banned? No, because I feel as though Battle Compressor, for the most part, it makes a lot of decks that would not normally be playable. It gives you that boost of consistency. And cards like Vespiquen and Night Marchers, they exist because, this is a strategy. They go with Battle Compressor. And now we have Karen, which kind of counters that strategy. So there's kind of a check to the cards that made Battle Compressor a degenerate card. Now, a lot of people are saying it gives you access to your one-up supporters in the first turn of the game. It really breaks VS Seeker. Yes, it does do that thing, but remember, you can use this card universally. And so for Battle Compressor to be banned, could that potentially be an issue? Yes, but should it be banned? No. Same thing with Hypnotoxic Laser. That was something else people were bringing up. Hypnotoxic Laser. Do I think Laser should be banned? No. Is it a ridiculous card? Now, was there a point where I felt as though Laser should be banned? Probably so. Yeah, I would say yes. There probably was a point where I felt it could have been banned, but as of now, I don't really think that would happen. Now, as the format starts to expand and expand, will there be cards that come up or certain combinations that arise that will require bans? Yes, if they keep this expanded format going on. I think about games such as Yu-Gi-Oh, such as Magic. Yu-Gi-Oh, you can play games from the very first set. I mean, cards from the very first set, and they do have a ban list. Now, interesting to know. I did comment and I said, I think what we need, what is more needed than a ban list for expanded is a reprint set so that newer players can easily acquire cards that are now out of print. Now, the reason I said this is because a lot of newer players or players that I meet, they're kind of like, expanded is, it's there's too much of extension. The card pool is too big. A lot of those sets are out of print. I don't really want to play those. I really don't want to play in expanded. And I feel as though in order for the game to grow and in order for us to not alienate newer players, we definitely need to make expanded a format that is accessible to everyone. So somebody did comment in and he said most everything that is useful, not a standard, is pretty cheap. Like dark patches aren't $10 or something. Now we have to remember that Pokemon has always been a relatively inexpensive game, aside from Shaman EX right now, which I almost got a Shaman for 65 full art. Buy it now on eBay, free shipping. And when I went to buy it, somebody had purchased it. I was so pissed off. So if you're that person who purchased that, Shaman, I hate you. But anyways, it's I said maybe it's cheap from the standpoint of other games, but there are certain EXs, like for example, Rebirth Ho. I was like, oh, Rainbow Road, that is so up my alley. I'm going to play that deck. But Rebirth Ho has been out of print, and so it came out. What was that? Dragons Exalted. It's a really old card, so it's out of print, and it's probably anywhere from, you know, maybe $15-$25. I don't know. But in order to get 3 of those, that's a pretty penny. And then you have our other cards, such as Jirachi. I used to have a full art before all my stuff got sold. I had a full art Jirachi EX. That's going for like $25 right now because, you know, it's a very popular card to play and expand it. And then you have some certain trainers, like he was like, oh well, Dark Patch isn't like $10 or anything, but it is $3. So if I want to, you know, Virbank City's like $5, Hypnotoxic Laser is like $3. So if I was playing a deck that ran those things, you know, I told him, I said that would be close to $40. That's a lot of money to be spending on, you know, those cards. Not to mention, you still have to get all of these other things that you want to play in standard. So then he said he brings up the Keldeo Rayquaza decks, and I was like, you know, and he's saying that, you know, $40 is not a lot for cards as useful as Laser Patch and Virbank, but you have to realize that, you know, people are trying to play 2 different formats. And I said those were examples. You know, there's a big card pool. Like Expanded has a huge card pool. We've never had a format in Pokemon with a card pool this big. And with that, we need reprints. Like, this is why Yu-Gi-Oh! Has been able to sustain itself, because, you know, they do have those multiple reprints so that newer players can get access to those older cards at cheaper prices, and so that the value doesn't creep up so high. I can only guarantee you, like, the longer Dark Print and, you know, Dark Patch and things such as Virbank City Gems stay out of print and we still have these standard formats, their price is just going to raise and raise and raise, and then Pokemon is going to become a game that is just as expensive as games like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic the Gathering. So we have to think about that. In addition, the Keldeo and Rayquaza decks, girl, the cards in them were not even that good to begin with. So yeah. All right, moving on. Oh my God, it's telling me I have a low battery. Maybe I need to go and grab my charger. Meanwhile, my charger is right behind me. Alright, sorry about that. Alright, so moving on, we have this post here. Now, this was drama to the max, to the extreme. So let me just explain to you guys what happened here. So I guess Poky Beach, first of all, I'm going to talk about a lot with this video. So first of all, let's talk about these articles that they want you to pay for that was started by Six Prizes, which was a market that didn't even exist in Pokemon. And, you know, the creator of Six Prizes started to just capitalize on the fact that Pokemon is a game in which we're so secretive about our deck lists. And, you know, we have all these teams, these secret testing, these secret decks. And, you know, I feel as though the creator of Six Prizes, he really capitalized off that, and he created a market that didn't even exist. He's making bank. But anyways, regardless of the fact, other people have kind of adapted that. And so Poky Beach has its own thing going on, and I guess they have posted a, what do you call it? They posted an article with this deck. And so I guess another YouTuber, a YouTuber took the deck more or less and created a video talking about the deck. And they did reference, you know, in that YouTuber's defense, he did reference this Poky Beach article. I guess it blew up into a big thing because the people at Poky Beach were like, oh, they've ripped this deck off. And then so I guess it also has happened before with Six Prizes, where a Poky Beach person had won a tournament that they had over there with a deck that was featured on Six Prizes, and Six Prizes went off. Come to find out, that deck was actually taken from Pokemon.com, because they do post the decks now. So it's just all of this thing, and I guess people were kind of like, screw Poky Beach and da da da. Let me just say this real quick. Poky Beach is the OG. Like, before all these other little sites giving you information and stuff like that, Poky Beach was the one giving you all that content, and they still do. Like, they still really keep me updated on my news. Would I go to them for like serious competitive play? No offense, Poky Beach. No, I wouldn't. Outside of my friend John, who does write for them, he's a really good player out of Texas. So, but outside of that, nah, Poky Beach, I don't really take you seriously like that when it comes to competitive play. But I feel as though players do tend to hate on Poky Beach a lot. When, girl, y'all know y'all go to Poky Beach to get them translations and them skins. Don't even front. But let me just say this. I'm gonna say a couple of things. First of all, I don't know any other card game where we take deck lists so seriously in Pokemon. It's just ridiculous. Like, in Yu-Gi-Oh, people are more than happy to share their deck list. Like, if you take somebody's deck list in Yu-Gi-Oh and you want to play it as yourself, people view that as a form of flattery. In Pokemon, they view it as thieving. Like, people will sell deck lists in Pokemon. Like, that's how ridiculous it is. And I don't think this happens really in any other card game. And another thing is that people do not own deck lists. Like, you don't own the rights to a deck list. Yes, you can get credit for it, but deck lists are not your property. You didn't trademark the deck list. Do you think again, like, and most of the times, a lot of decks, they're not people's original ideas. Like, yes, I've come up with deck lists that were kind of like on my own, and I created and I made myself. But again, I was influenced by something, or I saw something somewhere. And then third of all, like, you deck lists more or less are what, 3 to 4 cards off. It's not uncommon for two people to make a deck list that is near identical. So I just didn't understand, or not even that, but I don't understand this whole idea that the deck list is just this prestigious thing. And I'm so glad now that Pokemon.com posts the top 8 deck lists from every regionals, because again, it should be shared. It grows the game. It helps newer players to understand what is good. Because back when I used to play, like in 2004 and 2005, the thing that separated good players from bad players was simply the lack of information. Like, the better players just had more information, and it was kind of like, who what deck list can you get, and the other players who just would do poorly, they just weren't in that circle of these good deck builders or these known players. And that's kind of why you saw that big divide. But now that divide is kind of being broken down, and you're seeing a lot more players doing well than you would see. Like, before, it wasn't uncommon for the same person to top 8 every single event that they went to, because there were so many people there who just didn't have the information, because it was just so secretive. And I think that doesn't really grow the game. I like that everybody's kind of more on the same level playing field, because now we can see who's really good and who really isn't. But anyways, back to the situation at hand. Yeah, this was just this is just a hot mess. And then as far as the content, I would never monetize information that I'm giving. You know what, that's a lie. Well, I would never charge. My video, yes, YouTube that can and does, and pay YouTubers, but I'm not asking you. It's not like I have a Patreon or anything like that. I'm not directly asking you for your money. I just don't believe I would ever do that. But they're making a lot of bank off of it, and I really think I would never get a subscription to Six Prizes or any of those sites and give them my money. But I think that I probably would if they all kind of came together and they had some type of situation where I could pay a monthly rate and I could have access to all of them, because there's too many competing at this point. Like, 60 cards, 6 prizes, Poky Beach. There might be another one. I'm not paying 4 different people per month for Pokemon content. I'm not doing that. So maybe if they all came together and they were like, okay, you can pay one price, you can get all this content, and maybe they can split it. I think a lot more people would jump onto that bandwagon. Something like that. So that's something that you guys might need to consider. But as far as this situation, I some pieces for both from both sides, and I think what this guy Tim was doing here is he was just kind of letting people know that, you know, don't give Poky Beach too much. Like he was like, honey, don't give Poky Beach too much. And I don't think you should give Poky Beach too much, but at the same time, nobody owns deck lists, and I think it was petty for the six prizes to do that when that had occurred, and it was petty for Poky Beach members to get offended at this YouTuber's content, especially if he gave credit where credit was due. All right, so finally, and this is going to be really quick, I'm going to wrap this up. Florida Regionals is happening this weekend. There's no bad weather predicted for the Florida Regional event weekend. I guess that was the rumor going around. I just wanted to spread this again because it needs to be known that, you know, Florida Regionals is still happening. It is expanded. I'm going to try to be doing a lot of content this week to get you guys ready or in the mood or prepared for that. You know, I haven't been playing, but I guess I can talk about the format from what I know. And then also I'm doing a video. It has been taking me forever. I just finished the script for it, and it's going to be the top 10 Pokemon in the history of the card game. Not top 10 Pokemon cards, but the Pokemon themselves. So it's kind of like what Pokemon consistently has been good over the history of the card game, you know, in multiple formats, so on and so forth. So look out for that. It's a unique video, and I am super excited about it. So please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And for future Virbanks, if there's something that you want me to talk about that had occurred during the week in Virbank, just kind of tag me in it, and hopefully maybe I'll cover it at the end of the week. So I'll be doing another one of these on Sunday. So have a wonderful week. I hope to see you guys at Florida Regionals.